This asceticism is what makes him a ghost in the machine of global diplomacy. He is a pragmatic wartime leader who spends more time in military outposts than in gilded offices. His trademark red beret and combat fatigues are a constant reminder that for Burkina Faso, the war is not over. It has only just begun. It is a war for the mind, a war for the soil, and most importantly, a war for the ledger. Take a second, right here, to tell us where you are watching from. Type the name of your city, your land, the soil beneath your feet. And as you do, know this. Africa News Hub sends you not just thanks, but a blessing. For strength in your hands, for pride in your heart, and for light on the road ahead. The comments below become a map of connection, showing that this message of dignity reaches far beyond borders, uniting us in a shared journey for truth. The reason Washington watches with such intensity is not because of a single man, but because of the contagion he represents. Sovereignty, it turns out, is the most infectious idea on the planet. If Burkina Faso succeeds in processing its own gold, if it succeeds in feeding its own people without the permission of the International Monetary Fund, the entire architecture of African dependency collapses. Burkina Faso is the 15th largest gold producer in the world. For 60 years, that wealth was dug out of the earth by Burkinabe hands, only to be flown to Europe to be refined and sold back at a premium. In November 2023, Traoré struck the hammer. He approved the construction of the country's first state-run gold refinery. This is the Ibrahim Traoré Gold Revolution, a shift from raw extraction to domestic value. It is the moment the resource curse begins to turn into a national blessing. But this path is paved with extreme danger. To challenge the flow of gold is to challenge the global financial order. It is no coincidence that since he took power, there have been 18 recorded attempts on his life. These are not just whispers. They are the desperate gasps of a status quo that feels its grip slipping. The West does not fear Ibrahim Traoré because he is a dictator. They fear him because he is a successful nationalist. They fear that the Sankara legacy 21st century is no longer a historical footnote, but a living, breathing blueprint for an entire continent. He has mobilized 50,000 civilian volunteers to defend their own villages, turning a passive population into an active shield. He has told the world that there will be no negotiations with those who seek to destroy the state. This is a total war for survival. Yet, while the guns are firing in the north, he is looking at the grain silos. He is reviving the collective farms, teaching a new generation that the greatest act of rebellion is to grow your own food. The pressure is immense. Sanctions, diplomatic isolation, and the constant threat of a surgical strike hang over Ouagadougou like a heavy Saharan heat. But Traoré seems to understand a truth that his predecessors forgot. You can kill a man, but you cannot kill an idea whose time has come. The price of independence is often paid in blood and isolation, and Traoré is currently writing the check. But as the world closes in, a new question emerges. Can this solitary flame survive the hurricane of global opposition, or is the Sahel about to witness its most tragic harvest yet? The year is 2026, and the winds that sweep across the Sahel carry a different scent. It is no longer just the smell of dry earth and old grievances. It is the scent of blooming wheat and the metallic tang of domestic production. Look at the maps today. You will see a transformation that no think tank in the West could have predicted. While the world was busy calculating the risk of a military government, the people of the Sahel were busy calculating the value of their own labor. The young people who once dreamt of Paris or London are now standing tall in the fields of their ancestors. This is the harvest of dignity. It is the response to every no that was ever whispered by a foreign bank. It is the answer to every you cannot that was ever issued by a distant diplomat. This is what it looks like when a nation decides to stop asking for a seat at the table and decides to build its own. The green belts of the North are not just agricultural projects, they are fortifications of the soul. By refusing to beg for bread, Ibrahim Traoré has ensured that the next generation of Burkinabe will never have to bow for it. For our brothers and sisters in the Black American community, for the elders who have seen the fires of the 60s and the long journey of the decades that followed, this story is a familiar chord. It is a reminder that the struggle for Black history is a global tapestry, woven with the same threads of resilience and the same hunger for self-determination. The hand that fights for justice in the streets of Atlanta or Chicago is the same hand that builds a refinery in Ouagadougou. It is the same spirit, the same refusal to be a footnote in someone else's empire. This is the bridge that the West fears most, a bridge of shared consciousness that spans the Atlantic, uniting the continent with its diaspora in a chorus of no more, Diu. We have moved through the fire of indignation. We have felt the heavy rain of regret for the years lost to shadows and puppets. But now we stand in the clear light of hope. This hope is not a fragile thing. It is armored. It is pragmatic. It is forged in the fires of 18 assassination attempts and the quiet resolve of a man who refuses to leave his post. Ibrahim Traoré is not a miracle worker. He is a reminder that the incorruptible people were never gone. They were simply waiting for a leader who was worthy of their sacrifice. As we prepare to end, remember this is not the end of the road, but a seed planted in the soil of your heart. Every story of dignity, every voice of sovereignty is part of a harvest that lies ahead. If you want to see that harvest grow, subscribe to this channel. Let Africa News Hub be the road we walk together, the light we carry forward into the unknown. Your subscription is not for us alone. It is for the promise of what is still to come. It is a commitment to stay informed, to stay proud, and to stay ready for the next chapter that is already waiting to be written. Join us and let us witness the unfolding of a continent that has finally decided to write its own destiny. The story of Africa is being rewritten in ink made of sweat and gold. What we are witnessing is the final collapse of the old era and the painful, beautiful birth of the new. The Ibrahim Traoré Gold Revolution is the ultimate proof that the wealth of the land can finally serve the children of the land. It is the economic shield that protects the political sword. As the Sahel Alliance grows stronger and the influence of the old masters fades into the twilight, we realize that the flame ignited in 1983 was never truly extinguished. The Sankara legacy 21st century has found its voice, its strength, and its moment. This is why the world watches. This is why they fear him, because once the people realize they are free, no power on earth can ever make them forget it. The Ibrahim Traoré Gold Revolution is not just a policy. It is a promise kept to the ancestors and a path cleared for the children of the future.